The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'd like to welcome you to the first National Technology Alliance webinar, introducing NTA. We just want to share a little bit about ourselves today and get so that you can know a little bit more about the mission and illuminate sort of the reasons behind the conception of NTA. We created it to build a bridge between innovation and tangible opportunities for innovators. And so today we're going to dive into that mission. We're going to talk a little bit more about the how and the why, so that you can get to know us better. And we will end with some Q&A with our executive director, who's here joining me today, Matt Loudon. So we're thrilled to have you, and we'd love for you to ask your questions. Feel free to ask them along the way as we go. You can put them in the control panel. It says questions, just type those in. And at the end, we'll get to as many as we can. Any that we can't get to, we will absolutely address after the fact and make sure we connect with you individually if we aren't able to speak to you with the whole group here. So my name is Laura Murphy. I oversee the operations and communications for NTA. And as I mentioned before, I'm joined with our executive director, Matthew Loudon. And he's going to speak a little bit today about how and why we were created and what we're doing to build that inclusive ecosystem and the infrastructure that we think is so needed here for innovators. And so I will pass the reins off to him, and he'll carry us through a little bit more about the organization.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Laura, and thank you all for joining today. As Laura said, I'm executive director of the NTA, the National Technology Alliance. I'm also have a role as the vice president of the Tech Connect division within ATI, the Advanced Technology International, and I'll tell you a little bit more about both of those positions and their backing and involvement with NTA in just a bit. And just happy to be here to talk you through the arc that has brought us to launching NTA and tell you a little bit more about it. Laura, if you go to the next slide, please. So we'll start with the mission, but this is there's more to it, and I'll kind of walk through in just a bit. But NTA is really put in place to provide a trusted ecosystem for connecting and accelerating the world's top technologies with commercialization opportunities and with technology seekers, whether they be industry or government or associations or NGOs, et cetera, or investors. But more importantly, I guess if you go to the next slide, Laura, is along the lines of why NTA, and it's really this first bullet that I want to emphasize. Oh, if you go back one, sorry, thanks. What I really want to emphasize is NTA is we're putting this in place to accelerate the commercialization of our federal R&D investments. And this is across all sectors, all agencies. This is very important. There's been a shift over the last few years, and I'll talk to you about it in just a minute, but that's the primary purpose, is to help accelerate the commercialization of what we have been investing in as a nation. So this, we provide an external non-governmental infrastructure to support these federal priorities and initiatives. Our goal is then to connect innovators with active funding and partnering opportunities, and on the flip side, connect industry and government seekers with the nation's strongest ecosystem of solution providers. So Laura, if you go to the next slide. So the question then is, why now? Why us? The why now is pretty apparent. There's been a significant shift over the last few years within the federal government in terms of priorities and initiatives across all agencies to support commercialization of our nation's R&D. this is across the board from the White House, from OSTP through the alphabets of Department of Defense, Department of Energy, National Science Foundation, Department of Commerce, NASA, SBA, intelligence community, and many, many more. There are initiatives running now to really support and ramp up commercialization of the nation's R&D. In addition, obviously, there's been the multi-agency programs embedded within the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Law, and also with the CHIPS and Science Act, both of which have numerous programs to support technology commercialization. On top of that, though, the NTA is backed by both the Advanced Technology International, ATI, and Tech Connect. And I'll give you a little bit of background just so you know where and why they're involved. So ATI, as a 25-year leader in innovation collaboration and contract management for the federal government. They're basically one of the largest investors in early stage emerging technologies in the country. Tech Connect was acquired by ATI, and we now fall under their nonprofit structure in 2021. And Tech Connect is now applying its 25 years of innovation ecosystem building and global technology scouting to also support NTA. So combined, NTA represents and is backed by the nation's largest innovation ecosystem, and it's coupled with the nation's largest source of innovation investment. And I'll go into a little bit more detail of what that represents, but we feel like we're in a unique position to, from the onset, from a foundational situation, support the nation's priorities in innovation, commercialization, and feel that this is the right time and the right backing to launch NTA. So if you go to the next slide, please. So membership, NTA is a membership association. We have, you can join as individual members. There is a model to partner from association or organizational level, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But individual members can join, and I'll talk about our current memberships stats in just a minute. But members receive really the bolded list that you see there, that faster commercialization opportunities, access to the largest, diverse, unbiased, and trusted innovation ecosystem and community. There's no cost to join. We try to make the barrier as low as possible. NTA is not involved in any kind of brokering. We do not take commissions. We're not taking we're not diluting anyone that's participating. We're simply trying to help the nation's innovators and innovation ecosystem connect with opportunities in a more rapid manner. You'll receive notification alerts of opportunities coming through, matchmaking and networking opportunities, and obviously free access to webinars and training. There are numerous government programs and initiatives and industry programs that we know that the innovation ecosystem, many do not know or are not aware of these opportunities, and it's our goal to help make those connections. We also run a number of events through the years, and there's discounts for NTA members. Okay, and if we go to the next slide, please. So about our members. Currently, we're around 5,000 members, and we're growing. About 50% are startups, and about 80% are non-traditionals. And that's the non-traditional piece is important for our engagement with federal government offices. We have a number of partner organizations that have funding opportunities that are specifically targeting non-traditional, non-traditional meaning companies that have not been engaged with government funding other than SBIR funding. over the last few years. These are ways for the government to access emerging private sector innovators, and this is a key part of our community that we're looking at. We have over 500 R&D labs or universities that are represented, and over 300 multinationals that are already members as well. Our overall ecosystem, however, is from a subset of the legacy Tech Connect's 25-year innovation network. We have about 250,000 solution providers, and this includes startups, entrepreneurs, academics, entrepreneurial academics, subject matter experts, tech transfer and commercialization offices from around the country, and accelerators, incubators, and a lot of venture portfolios and catalyst partners. And I'll talk about catalyst partners next and explain what I mean there. Laura, if you go to the next slide. Thanks. So NTA has individual membership, but then we also have a program for corporate partnership or association level partnership, and this is what we call NTA Catalyst Partners. Catalyst Partners, this program is really focused on either two poolings, either portfolios, organizations that have portfolios of active innovation funding or partnering opportunities. And this is an example. We have a large number of other transaction consortia, with government customers that have become catalyst partners who funded over $5 billion in early stage funding technology opportunities last year alone. The other side of that is portfolio organizations that have portfolios of innovation. This is such as university and lab commercialization offices, incubators, accelerators, and associations or economic development programs. Catalyst partners are a way for us to expand the footprint of both active, providing the innovation ecosystem, both active partnering opportunities, but also expand, support organizations that represent these portfolios of innovators and make those connections between the two. So if you go to the next slide, please. So this is showing our current Catalyst partners. Some of these are brand new. Some of these are legacy from relationships Tech Connect has brought over. But this represents a large number of funding opportunities for the NTA membership or partnering opportunities. It also represents a distribution of innovators from across the country. And obviously, innovation takes place everywhere in the nation, and that's our goal, is to have representation from across every state, every region. We want to be able to pull and connect those innovators with opportunities that are coming through NTA. So next slide, please. So we also run a number of meetings. We're co-locating NTA membership meetings right now. These are examples of two of the bigger events, NTA membership meetings, that are coming up. The first is this November, the Defense Tech Connect in November 28th through 30th at National Harbor. This is also co-located with a number of other events, including the SBIR's National Innovation Summit, a Smart Cities program, and a Resilience Week. These are great places for innovators to connect with multiple opportunities for commercialization. So we have industry speed dating at these programs. We have innovation pitch and prize programs, co-located with OTA funding programs, and obviously the SBIR engagement, which represents about $4 billion of annually of funding into our to help commercialize our nation's innovations. The second event that would be coming up is in June, also in 2024, also in National Harbor, and just outside of DC. And similarly, that has an embedded SBIR program co-located. The following event would be in the fall in Austin, Texas, in 2024 as well. So those events are key for us to, our goal is to have as many potential opportunities for our NTA members to commercialize their technologies, be exposed to funding and partnering opportunities. And there'll be programs within the event, of course, for you to participate in receptions and networking, in addition to one-on-one meetings with many of these opportunities. As members, you'll receive emails with discounts to attend these, and that'll all be coming up in the near future. Laura, if you go to the next slide. Thank you. And this, as I was talking about example opportunities for NTA members, I just wanted to put up three example opportunities. So on the NTA site and as a member, you'll be receiving notifications of opportunities that are coming through. These are curated in the sense that we're not trying to recreate SAM.gov. What we're doing is we're consolidating opportunities that are aligned with national priorities, have an active funding or partner possibility that's taking place right now. And these could be innovation challenges, it could be funding opportunities, it could be prize programs, it could be grant opportunities. And those will be cataloged and continuously updated on the NTA site. So here's three examples of the numerous programs that are running right now. We have a space innovation challenge. This is a private challenge with a $50,000 prize. This is submissions are due September 15th. There'll be a pitch program along with the prize with corporate partners that'll take place at the November event that I mentioned in National Harbor in Maryland. Reviewers include participants from ATI, from Blue Origin, the International Space Station, Raytheon, AWS, Apex, and Lockheed Martin. So these, again, are just opportunities for you to engage with industry and government, and obviously have a funding, a prize program associated with it. The middle opportunity is an example of a program with a government customer and one of our Catalyst partners. This Catalyst partner is called the Medical Technology Enterprise Consortium. They have requests that come through from their government partner, and the funding vehicle mechanism is through an other transaction authority, and we'll run a webinar to explain how OTAs, other transaction authorities, work in the near future. This is an opportunity with MTech where you can become an MTech member, submit your technology aligned with, in this case, it's a request for a solution around neurotrauma, and then have an opportunity to receive non-dilutive funds to help advance your technology from, at a prototype level towards a bigger opportunity later on with the government. The third example is on the right. This is with an industry partner instead of a government partner. This one is with Reckitt, and this is an advanced materials focus on, they're seeking solution partners around consumer safe compounds. Again, we run multiple programs throughout the year with industry partners, and this is a way for us to expand the outreach for in this case, the company Reckitt, and have and feed back up innovators from around the country to connect with that company for partnership, licensing, or funding opportunities. Submissions are due September 7th on that one. And so those are just 3 examples. We're working on numerous other programs. We have a much larger multi-million-dollar prize program we're hoping to close out and launch in the next few weeks, along with a continuous flow of other government-backed opportunities that we will be posting on a regular basis. And again, this is the foundational piece of our goal, is to help the innovation ecosystem access these opportunities across the nation. So go to the next slide, please. So this is very simple, how to engage. You can join NTA as part of this webinar. You were part of signing up was the opportunity to join. You can attend one of the events that are coming up, and then obviously access the opportunities that we are posting through the site, and you'll be receiving through newsletters and notifications. And I think that's pretty much it. Happy to take any questions and sum it up, hand it back over to Laura for a moment.
Thanks, Matt. So I mentioned in the beginning that if you have any questions, go ahead and enter them in the control panel on the right side of your screen where it says questions. I've already got a few coming in, so we'll start with those, but please throw them in there, and whether we get to them today or after the fact, we will definitely connect with you. So the first question is from Larry. Larry asked, can we speak to how NTA differs from Tech Connect, NDIA, GovMates, and other OTA consortia? So what is it that we're doing that they're not? Can you speak a little bit more about the differentiation between NTA and the other organizations that are wrapped up into this ecosystem, Matt?
Absolutely. So NTA is we have support programs from organizations such as who you just mentioned, but we're really a membership at no cost, no commercial, no commission, and no barriers to entry. We are the first membership organization in the country that curates these funding or partnership opportunities across multiple sectors and make them readily available to the nation's innovators. So again, there are Tech Connect runs individual challenge programs, the consortia programs that were referenced are tied to contract vehicles. We're trying to pull from all of these opportunities and consolidate them and curate those opportunities and make them as easy as possible to feed them to the innovation ecosystem of the country, just to make it as easy as possible for those innovators to advance and engage in those opportunities. And so, we pull from each of those individual communities that you referenced, but we're really consolidating them all and curating them under one association.
Thanks, Matt. Peter, you asked about a list of open topics for startup funding, and then you said most funding opportunities are locked to specific topics. So I think what you're asking there is where can you find a list of open opportunities? And you can do that on the nta.org site. You just go there and click on opportunities. They're also sorted by topic area if that's more helpful. And then you, as a member, you would also receive a notification of featured opportunities and links back to topical opportunities in a newsletter format periodically. So if that does not answer your question, please clarify for me, and we'll try to answer that again. A different Peter asked, Matt, can my emerging technology get a hearing without attending the Maryland conferences? So can you speak maybe to the opportunity to present and what that means with connection to NTA?
Not directly. Typically, we align our pitch programs, our challenge programs, with innovators. With technology seekers at the events themselves, and there'll be a selection process in which those customers typically, review the hundreds of submissions and do a sub-selection of what they're looking for. That being said, we do run programs throughout the year with industry and government customers in which they present their general technology needs. And that happens at the events as well. So both at the events and away from the events, you can hear from the technology seekers in what they're looking for. Sometimes they're very specific about what they're looking for. Sometimes they're a bit more general, just to protect themselves, from their own competitors. But the event usually ends up being one of the best places to engage directly, because of the multitude of engagement routes at the event. You can meet face to face with the industry leads. You can meet with other government offices. You can meet with others that are in the audience that are scouts, technology scouts that are aligned with a particular topic. So I hope that answers the question. But there are opportunities throughout the year to hear from industry and government requirements, but a lot of times we do consolidate all of that at the events themselves.
Thanks, Matt. And also, if you were to apply to one of the opportunities listed with an OTA or with an industry partner or something, a lot of times there are digital pitch events. You may be applying for something that's more of a co-partnering opportunity where you'd receive introductions directly. So lots of ways that takes shape, but just wanted to add that part. Betsy asks, what if I have no experience working with the federal government? How would NTA help me?
That's perfect. Thanks, Betsy. So NTA will be running a number of educational programs throughout the year to introduce engagement routes for companies that don't have experience with working with the government. Introduce the different types of windows that you can pass through, different programs and opportunities that are out there. And so we'll run those through webinars so that you can access them. The other route, obviously, is what I mentioned at the events. We have at the events the good fortune to be partnered with the SBIR's national innovation events. So you can go to those events, actually hear briefings from those different SBIR offices, and typically they hold office hours, one-on-one meetings at the events, so you can meet with them there. Additionally, we run at those events, we have, especially from OT, other transaction vehicles, which is another type of funding, government funding vehicle. We typically have different leadership from those offices or from the consortia or the contract managers that you can meet with, and they go through an introduction as to how you can engage with them and access opportunities as well. So our goal overall is to help educate the private sector innovation ecosystem of opportunities that'll be coming. So as we go through the year, you can just watch for different webinars and education programs to help with that process.
Thank you. A question from Tina. Are companies required to be NIST SP 800-171 compliant, including the score entered in SPRS, before joining?
They are not, no. So that's part of the goal with NTA is to make it as easy as possible to provide as low a lift as possible for the nation's innovators to be able to access opportunities. But there are scenarios, there could be opportunities that come through that do require additional actions, and one might be being under NIST compliance. but not all. There are many that that are not related to, that have no relation at all to those regulations.
I have a question from Man who asked, how can I commercialize my patent? So if how would NTA help you do that?
Absolutely. So we work very closely with with technology transfer offices from across the country, especially with technologies coming out of universities and national labs. So we do not help commercialize your technology directly. What we can do, though, is we can spotlight opportunities that are in alignment with what your patent uh, may be focused on. So, and that's, again, the goal. The goal is to provide as many opportunities to technology providers, to innovators as possible, and then a route for you to respond, to tell that customer, to tell that office about your technology, and give you a platform to engage. Whether or not it's in a direct alignment with what that customer is looking for, is up to the customer, or up to the technology seeker. But it still gives you a route to engage with those opportunities. And again, at the events, we have a large number of technology transfer offices that are there purely presenting intellectual property, patent opportunities, and looking for licensing opportunities or potential spin outs of those technologies. And so those are a good place to tell your story and see what other funding opportunities might be available.
Great. Thank you. All has asked, how can NTA help with SBIR STTR grants? So you spoke a little about the events being co-located and the value of that program. What about helping with that part?
Sure. So NTA, we won't be involved in any specific grant writing or direct support. What we will be doing is consolidating and curating opportunities that are already public, but that are coming through SBIR, and providing those out to the membership. We'll also be running webinars and event content around SBIR to help present the opportunities, the focus areas, the mechanisms to engage with SBIR. And SBIR, at their annual events that are co-located, they go through very much, an SBIR 101, they go through industry briefings. And so all of that is publicly accessible. As members, you can come and engage directly and meet with SBIR, different program offices. But we will be running introductory webinar programs on how to engage with, what is the process with SBIR. I will say also at the events, there are numerous support companies. We are not endorsing any of them because but there are many companies that participate at the events that can also help handhold you through the process, as there are many larger corporations that support SBIR, co-writing SBIR grants, and they participate at the events as well. So it's really multiple routes of engagement with SBIR, along with education to support service companies that are participating, along with SBIR's annual events as well. So I again, we're not in the business of helping write the grants, but we're definitely there to help you find the right connections and learn how what the process might be.
Great, thank you. Nisarg asks, is there a web portal for networking, matchmaking, etc.?
At the moment, there's not. We're really doing is we're posting the opportunities, these curated opportunities, and then having a handoff, passing you to whoever that organization might be, whoever that consortia, government office or industry technology scout might be, and just handing you directly to them for your engagement with them directly, if you know, depending on the model of or your submission into their request. So at the moment, we're not structuring interface between members. It's more a direction of feeding you to these opportunities that are coming through from the different partner organizations.
Thank you. And this one's a little bit of an OTA question, so we may be able to answer this better in our next conversation with members. But Chad asks, how are government purpose rights typically handled when engaging in OTAs with pre-existing technologies? Are you able to?
That I think we'd have to punt and cover that under a webinar where we have some OT experts on there. And my expectation is it's dependent on the OT and the consortia structure and the like and the requests. So, but we will have programs coming up to go through various OTs and that type of funding vehicle. So I think the best is to stay tuned till you have the right expertise on the line.
Great, thank you. And also, Chad, we can connect with you individually to answer any questions you have there. Matt Sion asks, is NTA associated with AFWERX?
No, AFWERX is a federal, is an Air Force run program. We do have AFWERX. AFWERX has participated at our events, most every year in some manner, and we're pulling opportunities from the public opportunities that are coming through AFWERX and curating a subset of opportunities that we see passing through AFWERX. We don't have AFWERX as a federal organization, as a Catalyst partner, but we are, and usually at our events, we have many of the works, the various government works programs participating, and there's routes for you to engage and hear what their interest areas are, what they're scouting for, what their customers' priorities are, et cetera. And so hope that answers it. So.
Great, thank you. Larissa asks, how do you increase the awareness of NTA with industry partners, and what is the frequency of solicitation for industry needs or requirements? So maybe speaking to the Catalyst Partner Program a bit.
Sure. So I'll start with the frequency. Frequency, we will be continuously updating opportunities as they come through, both from industry partners, from government partners, and from public opportunities that we see aligned with national priorities. The frequency is on a continuous basis, so I don't have a set number that I could put forward, other than to say this is, I think we have about 100 opportunities that we've put in place at the moment, and some of those will be sunsetting and we'll be updating on it, as they come through. The first part of the question, Laura, could you repeat it?
Yeah, so how do you create more awareness with industry partners? I guess generating more opportunities is sort of the impression I got that question.
Oh, sure. So over the years, we have worked with a very large number of the Fortune 1000 corporations and their tech scouting leadership. And so we are in a process of similar to what we're doing here, speaking with the innovation ecosystem. We're speaking with the corporate scouting, industry scouting community, who we have close relationships with already through Tech Connects programs, explaining the opportunities and expanding the requests that'll be coming from industry through NTA. So it's mainly through outreach, and we're, we have that community. We've worked with them for 25 years, and we're just working through that community right now and bringing more opportunities to the innovators.
All right, thank you. Auntie asks, what kind of rules are applied to non-US companies, for example, NATO member countries, taking part to or in NTA programs? So are there restrictions about who can apply based on where they're from?
It depends. Most of the industry requests that are coming through are looking for just the best innovation solution, regardless of where it's located, where it's sourced. Some of the government opportunities have international international technologies can respond to those requests. Some cannot, and we'll flag those in both directions. Areas such as medical technology, some energy technology. There's many areas where it's really, we're looking for global solutions, the customers that are involved or the partners. And then, as I said, most of the industry partners are looking for just the best solutions, regardless of their location.
Okay, thank you. Tina asks, when you say curated opportunities, are you curating specific to the member? And will those news of those opportunities get directly to the member's inbox? So for example, if their company is an AI, ML, operations, or cyber-oriented company, will only those opportunities arrive at their inbox?
Yeah, eventually. At the current launch state, we aren't doing that, but we've put all the infrastructure in place to do exactly what you're describing. Curated at the moment means we're selecting, we're presenting opportunities that are active, that have a rapid response. We know the customer on the other end, whether it's government or industry, is in a position to take some sort of action, whether it's funding or prize or licensing. So we're not pushing forward requests for information. We're really pushing forward actionable requests that are coming out. But exactly aligned with what you just said, we've built the infrastructure and it's in place that eventually, from a membership standpoint, as new NTA members come in, they're selecting categories of interest. And our goal is to also curate along the lines of technology sector and their interest. Now, obviously, there's overlap between, most requests are multidisciplinary, and so we're very aware of that, and membership, we're looking for, we assume that most members have multiple interest areas, and we're tracking all of that with everybody involved and matching that with the requests that are coming in. So that's a yet to come opportunity or structure that's planned out, but it's not there yet.
All right, thank you. Toussaint asks, how can innovators and technology developers get a better understanding of what technologies potential licensees are seeking? So by looking at our opportunities page, you get a sense of what the community is seeking, and you could apply for opportunities out there based on the needs that you see there. Is there anything you'd add to that, Matt?
No, not really. The only caveat is we're working, or I guess the only addition I would say is we're working with government. We're working with partners to be able to expand and provide as much information as possible. There are scenarios where we might have requests that are coming through that are somewhat limited in what they are able to say, the requester is able to say publicly. And so so keep that in mind, that in some cases the opportunity if there's an opportunity posted, there is a real customer on the other end. And we are working to always be able to present as much as possible of that opportunity, but sometimes there are limitations of what can be put out there, especially from government customers. So.
All right, great. Thank you, Matt. Well, I hate to say that we are out of time for now, but I do have a number of questions we didn't quite get to. We will follow up with you privately. There's also going to be a recording of this webinar that we'll make available on the website at nta.org. So if you'd like to revisit anything that we've said or share it with your friends, feel free to do that. And if you'd like to see the slides, you can do it that way as well, or send us an email at admin@nta.org. And on social media, you can follow us on Twitter or on LinkedIn, and we post opportunities and relevant news and things like that there as well. So we look forward to working with you all further and engaging with you as members, hopefully, and maybe even in person this fall. And so we're here if you have any questions, and we look forward to getting to know you better. So have a great day.
Thank you all.